Story time. Okay, so very briefly, my actual first experience with art theft is honestly fairly tame, and it was my fault, even though I was like 11 or 12 years old at the time, so I really didn't have the knowledge, but I do recognize like the actions that I took. If I was my age now, I would consider it wrong. So what I used to do, and funnily enough, I used another Adobe software at the time. I would take random pictures that I found either online or on YouTube or something, and I would take it into, I think it was called Firefly, either Fireworks or Firefly, but it was just a photo editing app basically. So not as advanced as Photoshop, but you could add like color grades and noise filters and all the bits and bobs, and I would post that to DeviantArt, and I got called out immediately. Like, people were like, this isn't your work, you're just like making it. Like, I'm pretty sure in my descriptions I would say like, I took this into whatever software and da, 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 da. But yeah, I was technically stealing other people's pictures and just like giving them a little veneer of sorts. So because I got so much backlash at the time, I immediately stopped doing that and just started like sketching not my own stuff. I would sketch things that I saw. So there was like a Facebook game that I used to play called Ovi Pets, which had really cool, honestly very furry coded artwork, and I would just like copy that. But yeah, so that was my actual first experience with art theft. We'll say, if I was like 11 or 12, like 2 to 3 years later, I start high school. I went to a high school that I had to technically audition for because they had, okay. I have to vent for a second, okay? The system that I went to high school in was in Virginia, and I'm sure it's the same in different areas where like you have zones, you have school zones, you have bus zones. So depending on where you live, like your zip code or your neighborhood or however it works, you would be assigned a specific high school. In my area, even though the school that I auditioned to get into, I think was closer than any other school, because of how the bus system was set up, I was zoned for another school that was farther away. Funnily enough, another side note, my first day of high school, I ended up getting on the wrong bus because I didn't realize the bus stop that I was at had multiple buses going to multiple schools because it was a specialty bus stop. So me and my friend from middle school were at the same bus stop, and we ended up getting on the wrong bus together. Had to have, I think, our parents drive us to the correct school. I think her dad picked us up. But yeah, so I auditioned for this arts program, and yeah, so I went to Woodbridge Senior High School. The primal fear I feel when realizing I'm on the wrong... you're telling me, bro. You're telling me. I was like... Because I think we had done, like, an orientation day, so I knew what the school looked like from the outside, but I don't think I remembered the route, so, like, we didn't realize until, like, we were coming up on the wrong school, and I was like, this isn't Woodbridge. Where are we? And I made friends with this girl who was in my art program. We sat at the same table. There were 2 other girls too that I think I was also friendly with, but I can't remember their names and they're not really relevant to the story. This girl that I made friends with, we were practically besties for the entire year up until our final project for the art class. So like this was like supposed to be our quote unquote like magnum opus of the year, of our freshman year of high school. So I started like brainstorming ideas as soon as like the project was announced, and I settled on this one idea. I will say my friend was the first one to like vocalize her idea, even though I think it was like a week or 2 after everything was announced. So she had kind of vocalized her idea first, and it was like this big canvas, which I didn't even really see her working on it most of the time. I think I only really saw it once she was like adding the final touches. So her idea was like this big canvas, and she was just doing a galaxy scene. And to her credit, she was like using spray paints and stuff at home. It looked awesome. I will never like disparage somebody's work. So she did like this cool like galaxy spray painting basically, and she was like adding stars as like the final touches. Keep in mind, we also shared a health class, which will be important in a second. So that was her idea. She did like this big galaxy painting. It looked great. By the time I didn't announce it to like the entire class, but by the time I told our teacher what my project was going to be, I think she was already like halfway through with her project. I don't remember the timeline exactly. I'm mostly assuming. But either way, so like I said, she had a big single canvas galaxy painting. That's it. That's all I remember from her project. My project was a little bit smaller. I spread it across 4 different canvases that I think I had gotten from like Michael's or something. And I also had a galaxy background. So before I reveal more details, so she did a big galaxy painting on one canvas. I did a galaxy painting across 4 canvases. And because we shared a health class together, a couple of days after, either I think she saw me working on my project or after I had like announced my project, like I just said what I was going to be doing, she confronted me outside of our health class and said I stole her idea. I want that to sink in for a second. She said I stole her idea. Her idea was a fucking galaxy on a canvas. Like, all credit, it looked great. But you can't copyright space, bitch. Like, if she had done like a specific galaxy, like a specific star sector or whatever, like that's one thing. If I had done the exact same star sector, like that's one thing. I will give you that. Bitch, when I tell you, my project across 4 canvases, the center of the 4 canvases where they meet was a giant eye. Not an eyeball, but it's just like an eye, like an open eye. Inside the eye, I have an iris that is split like a yin-yang. So one side is more galaxy, the other side is a clock. And the little like circles, so like obviously in the clock half, there was a circle that had like a galaxy inside of it. And then on the galaxy half, there was a circle that had a clock in it. And in the background, I had stars, I had little stars, but I also had big circles that were also kind of supposed to be stars that were clocks. Like, it was. Yeah, it sounds hella thick with symbolism. It kind of was. Like, I don't know if I had some, like, underlying message intended underneath it, but yeah, it was supposed to be this really cool kind of surrealistic, like, painting, because 1, I loved drawing eyes at the time, 2, I loved galaxies at the time, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna combine these things, and I know, like, yin-yang is, like, the perfect symbol of balance, and that's what, time and space, they're they're 2 halves of the same coin, that sort of thing. So, like, I had original elements in my painting. The galaxy itself was completely different from hers. I think she had, like, it had a glossy finish, but I think she had more, like, matte colors versus, like, my galaxy had a lot of metallics. I had a lot of metallic paint at the time, so I just wanted to use it. That's part 1 of this story, okay? That she accused me of theft. I was like, you're fucking crazy. We stopped kind of being friends after that. I don't even remember what our final scores were as far as like a grade. I don't care. I think my dad still has the canvases now that I think about it. So this funny thing happens after freshman year. So they built this new high school, and the art program that was originally at the high school I was going to freshman year, that art program was moving to the new high school. So they gave us students the option of either transferring to the new school and transferring into the program, or staying at the current school and staying at Woodbridge and not being part of the program anymore. Which I don't know why they couldn't have had the same program at 2 different schools, because they had that with some other specialty programs that were like STEM related. But either way, maybe it was a funding thing, I don't fucking know. But either way, So she ends up moving to the new school. I stay at Woodbridge for my sophomore year. I take a digital art class. And yeah, like everything, like I completely forget about her for the next 2 years. Because even like after my sophomore year, I ended up moving to Germany my junior year of high school because my mom was stationed over there. So I forget about this girl for 2 years, right? My senior year rolls around. I'm moving back to the States because I want to get my driver's license. I want to get a job, all this stuff. There was like this weird, complicated thing, again, with the fucking school zoning thing. Even though I have a license and my own car, I can drive myself to school. They just wouldn't let me go back to Woodbridge, which sucked. Really, really sucked. I ended up going to that new school that they built with the art program. So I was able to like at least transfer back into the program. So my senior year, I'm taking an AP drawing class, which of the 2 AP art classes that I remember having the option of taking, I took AP probably like graphic design or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was like a slightly relaxed version compared to AP drawing. AP drawing, the standards for that class are so intense. Like, oh my god. Anyway, side note. But yeah, so I transferred to the new school. I transferred back into the art program. Come to find, who is in my art class? My former friend from freshman year. So, one of the first Galaxy bitch, I like that. Galaxy girl, we'll call her Galaxy girl. One of the first projects that we get in this class, which actually was really cool, we walk in and there is this altar set up in the middle of the room. There is a deer skull, there's like a ceramic bust, like all of these objects, they're painted white on a white sheet on a table in the middle of the room. The idea of the project was one aspect was for us to bring in our own like white object if we had one. So like me being a quirky nerd, I brought in my Funko Pop of Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. I set him up next to the deer skull, and we also had like these cool fake magnolias. So I think I stuck one in the eye of the deer skull. And then the next part of the project was to set up colored lights around the altar. So we had a magenta light, a cyan light, and a yellow light. So the way that the project was presented to us was we could either draw everything in black and white or draw everything in color. I'm an extra bitch. I like making things harder for myself when I don't need to. So I had this big black piece of paper. We had white charcoal that we could use, so I grabbed some of that. And then I took these 2 pieces of pastel pink construction paper, and I cut one into a triangle. I left the other one in a square shape and just kind of like angled it like a rhombus. And I glued them into like 2 kind of like random spots on the page. On the black piece of paper, I did the white charcoal of the skull and like part of Zero, I think. And then on the pink pieces of paper, I used chalk pastels to use colors. So I had like the magenta and cyan lights pointing at my area, so that's primarily the colors that I used. So yeah, so I had like kind of an alternating thing going on where it's like color, black and white, color. And I was really proud of this. It's still one of my favorite things I have ever made. I think I'm like either halfway through the project or I'm already finished. Me and Galaxy Girl kind of like sit on opposite sides of the room. I don't know if that was intentional or not, because I don't think I even like actually recognized her right away. Or if she recognized me, I have no idea. But we definitely were separated. What do I find but this girl? Okay, and I will say flat out, I never accused her of stealing my idea. I still don't accuse her of stealing my idea. I am fully of the belief that 2 separate people, can come up with the same idea simultaneously. Like, that's just a thing, you know? Like, humans have been doing that from since, like, the Chinese invented the fork, you know? But the thing is, I look over, and this girl has her paper separated into quadrants. So like four sections. Each opposite corner is either black and white or in color. And obviously, like, she has a different angle. She's not drawing exactly the same thing I'm drawing. But it's just like, nobody else in the class did that, to my knowledge. I looked around, everybody was doing black and white or color. Like, one or the other. I did not see anybody else doing both in the same project. And again, I did not accuse her of stealing. I would never accuse her of stealing. If she organically came to the same idea, then that just means great minds think alike, okay? Okay. I will just say that. But it was one of those things where it's like very ironic, where this person accused me of stealing her idea freshman year. And then senior year, because I said my idea out loud first, and then I look over, I see she's doing the same thing. It's like, is she? I never said she did. I would never accuse her of such a thing. But it's like, yeah, she definitely did an attempt to get back at you. And you know what? If she did, fair enough. You know? If that makes you feel better, if that helps you feel motivated to create cool art, by all means, I will be the villain in your story. It was just so ironic and so like, if she was intentionally stealing my idea, like, so hypocritical. Like, that is so petty. You wait 3 years to do that shit to me. Not that I think she ever thought we would see each other again. I definitely didn't think I would see her ever again. But it's one of those stories that I have that is just, like, so petty, so silly, that I just laugh now. I just think it's so funny. Oh. And, you know, I've been through enough traumatic experiences since then that I have a greater appreciation for life now. And you know, if she was malding for 3 years straight, oh, that would be so sad. That would be so sad. Imagine I made her so mad that she, like, stalked me for, like, 3 years just to like, she's like, anything I posted on social media, she, like, tried to, like, copy and make better. Can't sweat the small things. No, for real. Like, if you get caught up on, honestly, things that don't matter, you're just gonna end up being a very bitter, sad person. And I don't want to be a bitter, sad person. I already have enough shit to worry about. I have rent to pay. I have bills to pay. I have cats to feed. Like, I have to take care of myself and my health and all that shit. So I have much more important things to worry about. Like, and don't get me started on politics. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Excuse me. Like, it's the small shit. I appreciate the small things, and I don't sweat them because I don't have the fucking time to. If I spend time on it, I stress myself the fuck out, and I can't focus on anything. I don't make new things, and it's a depressive cycle, you know? Like, it repeats and it intensifies if it goes unchecked. So I have learned to roll with the punches. I'm learning to deal with the biting. She's so sharp. Ow! Okay. But yeah, that's my little story time.
Yeah, I'm smoking on a Dutch, watching Dragon Ball with my bitch, and I'll wear the t-shirt that I got from Ross. Smoke this gas when I feel lost. 80 on the dash, I make it go skirt. We had to cut ties cause I was a flirt. All of the times we try make it work. I cannot love now because I am hurt. Clear skies and stars in the nighttime. The moon shine like your eyes. I remember why I fell in love. Every time I look at you, it's like I'm doing drugs. I hate these women, but with you, I cannot get enough.